What is up, guys? Welcome into a brand new kind of cricket news video that we do every single week on the channel. Apologies for it being a little bit late today. I wanted to see what happened with the England test match before I posted it. But before we get into it, guys, if you could leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. It does massively help out the channel. We get straight into it and see how we get on. So to start off with some Cricket 24 stuff, we did get a little bit of an update from Ross Simmons this week, saying that they are working to bring new licenses to the game. We haven't really got much more than that at the moment. It just seems to be we're getting some more licenses. Don't really know when. I know they were talking about having maybe some of the smaller nations be in it, rather than, let's say, the South Africa or the India or anything like that. But hopefully we get a few more. In terms of patches, I don't think we're going to get any soon. I have to admit, it kind of seems like they've forgotten about it a little bit. You've got the AFL season starting pretty soon. What's that, in kind of a few weeks' time? It should be. I think it starts usually around April. So I think they're going to be concentrating on some updates for AFL 23, which everyone that I've spoken to about that game says that it desperately needs. They've also got the new tennis game out. They've got the new rugby game coming out. So I can't imagine we're going to see too much in terms of patches and things like that in the coming weeks. In actual cricket stuff, obviously, India ended up winning the test match, the fourth one, taking a unassailable 3-1 lead in the series. England threw away a completely unbeatable position the start of day 3, letting kind of India push on from 170 to 7 to 300. So they probably gave them 50 runs too many with the ball, and then when it came to their batting, they were probably 50 to 100 runs short. We should have really set India 300 rather than 190, and it would have been a lot closer. We probably would have won at that point, but I mean, 190, you just expect them to knock it off. It was nice to see Joe Root back in the runs. It was nice to see Bashir bowling as well as he did, considering the story that he has. I mean, he was literally playing club cricket 2 years ago, so unreal. It looks pretty good for the young England spinners. I don't know what that says for going forward and for the summer in coming up. So we've got the West Indies and Sri Lanka over. So I can't imagine there's going to be kind of too much change. I'd still imagine that Jack Leach is going to have his place. I can't see the other two coming in unless there's still injury problems with Leach, but I just don't know at this point. But India played well. I mean, literally from the kind of the start of the third day, India really bounced back in a strong way. And I think there is some credit to go to Rohit and how he captained the game, and especially Jarrell. Jarrell batted incredibly in the first innings, and then India were in real trouble today. They really were. And I thought they were going to really struggle. But it just turns out that they just needed someone to be a little bit positive at the crease and hunt the runs down. And Gill, with a really nice half century as well, just got them over the line. So, yeah, well played. Australia and New Zealand ended up playing a 3T20I series. Australia ended up winning 3-0. It's relatively comfortable in the end. There was a couple of close games. The first game was especially close, but then Tim David came in and just whacked kind of 33 off 10 at the end and won comfortably. One of the games were affected by rain. And as you can see by the picture on the screen, this was by far the best moment that came out of the whole thing. I was very happy with this picture coming out. I have no idea what's happened. I have no idea what has led them to believe that this is actually happening. But the problem with international one-day cricket is, unless it's a World Cup, this is probably more exciting to watch. Someone's arsehole. The PSL has started again. We did cover this a little bit on the last week's episode, so that it started on the Saturday, the Sunday. Really nice to have it back. Lahore really struggling, really struggling. 5 losses in a row. My Multan Sultans are currently 4-1, I believe. There's been a couple of close games, a couple of close finishes. The kits in the PSL were always really good. I'm really impressed with how the kits look. I know that sounds a bit of a funny thing to say, but I really enjoy the PSL. It's a good, fun watch. I like the commentators. the sponsorship and the adverts and stuff are a bit rough. I mean, it feels like there is one every, I'd say, 20 seconds. That we're having a Teppel T moment, or we're having a the Sears tires timeout or something like that. But I think that's India. But I don't think it doesn't take away from it. It's just funny for some of the stuff that they do, and then they get someone to run around the boundary, and it's just all good fun. But no, I really enjoy the PSL. I think it's off to a good start. I like the little slot that they've got kind of just before the IPL. Feels like it warms you up a little bit for the IPL. Yeah, really good fun. Nice to see some really good talented players. I mean, the one thing that I was thinking about the other day is how good would it be if the Pakistan players could play in the IPL? I know for political reasons it's just not going to happen. But there's so much talent in Pakistan, especially in white ball cricket, that I think they'd perform really well in the IPL. Speaking of the IPL, we have had the WPL start this week. Mumbai Indians are off to a 2-0 start. Again, as tournaments go, because there's not loads of kind of watchable kind of franchise competitions for the women, I always the first year of the WPL, I really enjoyed. Now, I haven't probably watched as much as I did last year, for the simple fact of the problem I have at the moment is the England-India series is already on. I'm watching 8 hours of cricket a day already. I don't know if I can kind of sit through another, couple of T20s in there. It's looking like another 4 or 5 hours of cricket. So it is rough, but I have watched, one of the first game, that I think they needed 5 off 2. Then there was a wicket. A new batter came to the crease and she smashed a 6 with 5 to win off 1. It was unbelievable. It really was. Apologies for not knowing who the player was at this point. I really can't for the life of me remember. But no, really enjoyable, really good competition. It's nice to see that the women get the kind of IPL franchise money as well, because women's cricket is actually, I really struggle with kind of not women's sport. That's wrong. I think women's sport has a place in everyday life, and that anyone can play whatever sport they want. I really don't care. But for me, I really struggle like watching women's football, just because it kind of hasn't got the speed of men's football as what I'm used to. Whereas women's cricket, I find so enjoyable. I really do find enjoyable, and it's very nice to watch the WPL. It is good fun. Guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Just a short one today, just running through a few things. Not much Cricket 24 news. Obviously, it's mainly going to be about England and India this week. I don't really know what else. I think we've got the test matches starting between Australia and New Zealand, starting this week sometime, Thursday or Friday. So that'll be exciting to watch. But please remember to leave a like. Please remember to subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.